Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. On the agenda tonight, we have Jan Akkerman, and it's going to be Focus, of course, and they're going to be playing Sylvia and also leading into Hocus Pocus as well. And this is from 1972, from a show we had here in the UK called the Old Grey Whistle Test, where bands just turned up and played live. So it's a really cool show. But let's get these guys up on screen and see how they get on. I'm just going to stop it there because the great thing about Jan when he's playing is it's so melody driven, and this is the thing with Focus as well, is that it's all so based around melody. I mean, some of it's actually quite progressive, but it's also got that melody, so it kind of tricks you into thinking that it is mainstream because it's so melodic, but it's so cool. It's so well put together. And the other thing is that we've got Thijs van Leer, I think that's how you pronounce his first name, but Thijs with his vocals as well. He's got such a cool kind of operatic classical way of putting across these lines, and some bands or some people think, oh, I'm not going to sing like that because, you know, it's not cool, but it's all for the track and it just makes it interesting. And there's nothing bad about making something sound interesting. It's just great melody, just so focused on the song and what's going to be good for the song, and playing a melody that you can repeat. A lot of guitarists don't have that ability to write something that you can repeat straight away and just kind of hum and sing. But really cool stuff here. We're going to be going into Hocus Pocus later, but we're just going to listen to a little bit more of Sylvia here. And I love it when Jan throws in a little bit of that kind of minor pentatonic and blues scale in there, because it's got a feeling of being really kind of jolly and happy, and the leads, you know, really cool. And then right at the end, he'll just throw in a little phrase that takes it to a slightly different place. And the other thing about Jan when he's playing his kind of 4 frets with 1 finger per fret. And by using this technique of having 1 finger per fret, it means that your hand doesn't have to move anywhere, so it means you can play notes more quickly in succession. Of course, it means that your hand doesn't have to move anywhere, so you can start to really speed up your lines. But I know that Brian May again said that Jan was kind of the first real technical player in this kind of rock and roll style. And you can tell here, even when he's playing slowly, that he's got that technique. You can see that the way that he's even just holding his fingers, that he has worked on his technique of speed. And the great players can play great vibrato with every finger, so it doesn't matter that you're in that formation. That's something actually that Randy Rhoads used to do with Ozzy, is he'd have this more classical looking way of playing, and which gives you the advantage of playing really fast, but also when you can vibrato on every finger, it means that you can play fast and always finish and sound good. So yeah, I'm just going to move it on now to slightly later in the video, and we can start to break down Jan's technical way of playing. And just before we start, we've got some really cool, ridiculous range here that's going to be coming in with the vocals. I'm just going to stop it there, because there we had a little glimpse of that great technique that Jan's got. Like I mentioned, that's the reason that he's got that one finger per fret technique. It means that you can really start to speed up one note after the next. And this is from 1972, so back in the 70s, kind of late 60s, this stuff wasn't really mainstream, or wasn't really breaking into that mainstream way of playing. It very much kind of came towards the 80s and the mid-80s. So just having this level of technique when he did, you know, Jan is all over it. He's got great alternate picking technique there. Real fast playing, but really fast, accurate playing. And you could tell that looking at the way that he's playing, that something's going to kick off later in this performance, just because you can tell that, you know, he's holding his hand in a way that so many of the great players hold their hands. You think he's going to unleash something, and there it was. I'm not surprised that Brian May really looks up to Jan as a player. If you just watch that and compare it with other guitarists at that time, you think, well, how many other guys were actually doing it that well at this time? But it's having that ability to play such technical lines, but then in the beginning, in Sylvia, during that track, having such great melody and expression. So yeah, Jan, what a great player. And Thijs as well. What a voice, what a great entertaining voice, that it's almost like something that is so unique that you just kind of have to watch it, because his range is just absolutely insane, and just that classical way of singing. But yeah, also listen to the other members of the band here. I mean, it's really tempting to listen to Jan and just listen to his guitar playing, but also we got Pierre van der Linden on drums, so have a little listen to some of his work. I'm going to put the link to this video in the description below, so you can listen to it again if you want to, just to listen to the different elements as well. And we've got Bert Reuter as well, who's playing bass on this, so have a little listen to that solid rhythm section, because that is so important to the lead guitar, to Jan's lead guitar over the top, because it's all layered on top of a solid foundation. If you don't have a solid foundation, the lead guitar isn't going to shine as much as it does. Jan's a great player, but a solid rhythm section is absolutely essential. I mentioned it on an AC/DC video with Malcolm Young, supplying that foundation for all of Angus's solos. It's such an important layer underneath the solos. It often gets overlooked. So have a little look at this video again and just listen to the work going into the drums and the bass, because it's really impressive as well. These kind of shows, the way you just plug in and play, is really cool. There's another show called Jules Holland over here that's a similar thing, where bands just get to plug in and play, and I really love watching those kind of shows because it's just the pure music and you get so much more expression from that live playing, because sometimes the players add something slightly different to the track live, which is always cool to see. But anyway, I don't want this video to go on for too long, but thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Right.